It's happened a couple of times with a couple of classes. So welcome to the lesson. Today we're going to look at coordinate geometry. About 10 of you didn't pick up the books. Maybe on Friday I could pop in there around lunchtime. If anyone wants to get the books and can come in on Friday, let me know, or make a time. Otherwise you'll have to just do the work that I'm giving to you. First of all, are there any questions on the trigonometry that you would like to go over? If so, just put it up here in the chat area, please, or ask me so that I can fulfill your request and go over the trigonometry. Apart from that, I'll leave that there. We're going on to coordinate geometry. Okay, so with coordinate geometry, we have some formula. So these are the formula. I'm going to share this document with you. I'll show you that in a moment. So we have a midpoint formula, a distance formula, a gradient formula, and a straight line formula, which is in two forms. Those are the formulas basically that we're going to be using. You are not going to have these applied to you necessarily, so you will need to learn about them. But I'm going to show you a neat tool that I've got already prepared for you on Google Classroom. Sorry, that's not it. Where is it? Just give me a second to find my way around here. Pull this up. On Google Classroom, disappeared. Doesn't sometimes. On Google Classroom, I think I have. No, on this site here. Yeah, when you go to Google Classroom, scroll down, you go to the accounts there, Google Counts, and I've got there under MAT2, I've got coordinate geometry. So under coordinate geometry, I've got some videos. Now, Mr. Chandakay has done a lot of videos, coordinate geometry, infinity plus one. I've got a few videos there on midpoint, distance, and so on. We've got some practice questions to look at the section summary exercise test, but this Khan Academy is the really good one. I'll put these recorded lessons down here, and if you click on this one note rather, and it takes you to this here, so it'll take you to this page, which you then go to content library, and when you click on the content library, hopefully, there we go, you'll see coordinate geometry, and you'll have access to what I'm doing today. For example, the formula page is down there, and you can look at that formula page that I've just been showing you. Okay, so that is the content library, and I'll just close that off. This one on Khan Academy is really good. So I'll show you this first. So you go to Khan Academy, and hopefully it won't take too long. It's working. Now, it's got videos here, it's got the formula here, it's got practice. And I'm just going to go straight to the practice. I would expect you to look at all these, but when you go to the practice, I was just trying this out before, and they're instant marking. So that when you have, sorry, I've got the formula there. When you go to the practice, it actually marks things instantly for you. So you have a question there, and you click on it. I happen to know that the answer is 78981 square root of 85. So I click on that there, and then you go down the bottom. Whoops. Oh, what happened there? Moved. So that was square root of 85. And you go down and you check it, and it tells you that you're correct. And then you can go on to the next question. So that's instant marking. So you'll be learning how to do this. All that I'm doing at the moment is showing you where these are. So you go to my Google Sites, go to Khan Academy, videos and questions, instant marking. Okay, so we're going to look at the distance formula. And whoops, wrong page. So here we have the formula, midpoint and distance. These are the two things that we're going to concentrate on today. So I'm just going to go to this page here, and we're going to have a look at a couple of points. I hope I can do it well in my freehand. And I'm just going to show you how these things work. So first of all, we start off with a pair of axes, which I'm going to have to draw by doing the straight line. So here's my axes. So here I've got a pair of axes, which I'll center it here. And if I put 2 points on these axes, and then I'm going to use the formula, so I'm going to call this point A, and I'm going to call this one down here point B. Now, A has the coordinates, and this is really important that you have your X coordinate first and then your Y coordinate. They go alphabetically. Some students forget that this is alphabetical, X and Y. So we do this. We should have the Google Meet on the side so I can see your comments if you have any comments. Okay, so if you've got any comments, put them down the side. Are people still with me and can see the screen? Just type it in yes if you can see the screen and you're still with me. Cool. Okay. Right. I need that feedback because it's a little bit hard. I feel as though I'm talking to myself. So let's put some numbers on the axes. 1, 2, 3. This is for the x-axis. Remember, x is always that way. Y goes sky high. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are -1, -2, -3. Hope you can see those blue lines okay. Whoops. -4, -2. There's -2 along there, -1, -3. So the point A has the coordinates 2 along, 3 up. So that's the point 2, 3. And B has the coordinates, put them down there. The X coordinate is -1. And the Y coordinate is -3. So we've got those 2 points, which I'll write over here. A equals 2, 3. And B equals -1, -3. Now, because we have got x, y, x, y, I can call this x1 and y1 to differentiate it from x2 and y2. So the x coordinates for A, I'm going to call x1 and y1. And for B, I'm going to call x2 and y2. Now, if we are asked to find the midpoint of these, we want to find halfway between 2 and -1. So in other words, we're looking at this distance here along the x-axis, and halfway between 2 and -1 is going to be this point right here, isn't it? 1.5. About there, because you've gone 1.5 this way, and you've gone 1.5 that way. So 0.5 is going to be the midpoint. So I'm going to say that the x value is 0.5. And then if we want to find the midpoint for the y, I'll just rub these things out so we're not confused. Right, I want to find the midpoint for the y, so I'm going to get my highlighter. And I'm going to say, well, this is 3 high, and this is 3 there. So halfway, if I go up 3 and I go down 3, halfway is going to be exactly in the middle here at 0. Whoops, that should be that color. Exactly at the middle, 0. So the midpoint is 0.50. Now that's doing it visually. We could do it another way, and we could do it instead of visually. We could take it and, I'll just get rid of these lines. We could use the formula. So the formula tells me that the midpoint is like this. This is the midpoint formula. I go x1 plus y1, x2, x1 plus x2, and I halve it. And then I do y1 plus y2, and I halve it. Now these are not squared, they're just the 1 and 2. So x1 is this value here. x1 is the number 2, and x2 is the number -1. So I'm going to do that first, just to show you how the formula works. 2 plus -1, and we halve that. 2 plus -1 is 1, so that's a half, which is what I've got here. So our x value is correct. Then we're going to do the y value. I'll change the highlighter color to green. So the y1 is 3, and the y2 is -3. So when I put them in the formula, I get y1, which is 3 plus -3, and then I have to halve them, and that's going to give me 0/2, which is 0. So we know our y value is correct. So it should make sense. Let's just check it by inserting a straight line there and see if it does make it in the middle. So I insert the straight line, and does it cross where we want it to cross? I'm saying that it crosses at x is 0.5, which is here, and y is 0, which is here. So that's the point 0.50. This big blot at the intersection was only looking at where the y value crossed. Okay, that's the midpoint. Anyone confused? Put yes if you're confused, no if you're not. Good, no. What a brilliant class. Okay, none of you are confused. Well, with that then, I'm now going to go on to the distance formula. And the distance formula uses Pythagoras theory. So what I'm going to do, I'll just shift everything over a bit more so I can see those comments. Right, and I can get everything. So I'm just going to repeat all this here. Take my same diagram. I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to put it down here. Right. And then I'm going to rub some of these things out. So we're using exactly the same points, A and B, and we're going to work out the distance between them. Now, do you see a triangle there? Anyone see a triangle? Because there is a triangle. Right, that's good. So, well, I'm going to draw the triangle in, and I'm going to show you insert. So I'm going to get some straight lines here, and I'm going to draw a straight line along the bottom. Oh, hold on, something shifted. Oh, I know what. Wait a minute, let's get it lined up with the axes first. Just wait a second while I draw, and I lasso all this. I haven't got it sitting on the blue lines. So if I get it sitting right on the blue lines, it's going to make it a lot easier. Okay, right, now I'm going to insert a couple of straight lines. Once you get the idea of this, you'll be able to visualize. Here's one of them, and I'm going to make it a bit thicker. And then I'll insert another straight line down here. And now you can see a triangle. And is it a right angle triangle? Can we assume it's a right angle triangle? Is it a right angle triangle?
Yes.
Yep, it is. Thank you. Yep, thank you, Dallas. Right, it's a right angle triangle. So with a right angle triangle, all we have to do then is work out and count the squares. So without using a formula, I'm just going to count the squares here. I've got 1, 2, 3 squares along the bottom. So that's 3 along there. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up the side. So with Pythagoras' theory, when we do c squared equals a squared plus b squared, we can work out that c squared is 3 squared plus 6 squared, which equals 9 plus 36. So c squared equals 45. So c must be the square root of 45. Okay, anyone stuck on Pythagoras theory? Yes if you're stuck, no if you're not. And the message please. Yes if you're stuck, No, if you're not, one person's not stuck, two people not stuck, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Good. It's also telling me who's in the class as well, so I know that you're here. Okay, that's the distance. Now there's a formula for distance, and the formula is actually based on the Pythagoras theory, and it's called the distance formula, and it equals the square root of, now see we had to square root something, and to get a squared, the distance along here, I had to go x2, whoops, not 2, I have to go x2, that's my second x value, minus x1, sorry, plus x1, whoops, no, that was minus x1, x2 minus x1, yeah, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So if we put those in, now remember, A was your x1, y1. And A was the point 2, 3. And B is your x2, y2. And it doesn't matter if you had them labeled the other way around, it would still work. And B is your -1, -3. Right, so we've got that. So all it's to do is putting a case, it's just putting a case of, the case of putting it into your formula, D equals, so we're going to do the square root of, I take my x2 value, which is -1, I put that in there in brackets, whoops, not close the brackets, just open bracket, -1, minus, then I put my x1 in there, which is 2, I square that, and then I do the same for y2 and y1. y2 is -3, so I write -3 minus, and y1 is 3. So when I do this, I get the distance equals, this is -3, and -3 squared is going to be 9. And this is -6, and -6 squared is going to be 36. So D is the square root of 9 plus 36, which equals the square root of 45. Now, if you're doing this on a calculator and you want to do it straightforward, straight from the, hold on, let's move my screen, and you don't want to run, and you want to run it straight through on your calculator, just be careful when you do this. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, because if you're going to have your numbers in here, -1 minus 2 squared plus -3 minus 3 squared, you need to remember to put square root, open bracket, and close brackets at the end. If you miss this out, if you don't put a double bracket in here, you're going to wonder why I am getting the incorrect answer. So that is the distance formula. Put yes if you understood the distance formula. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it? Cool. Good. Okay, so that's that. Now what I want you to do is just work on the distance and midpoint formula today. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to review these and we'll go over it again. But I want you to spend some time between now and tomorrow morning's lesson. So you've got another 30 or 40 minutes to work on this. So again, I'll just show you where to go on this. You go to Google Classrooms would be a good place to start. Then you get to this one here, my mathematics. Here's the home site. You get to the mathematics from Google Classrooms, go into coordinate geometry, and I would like you to do these Khan Academy. I want you to work on those. So go to Khan Academy, sending me there, and I want you to do the sections on midpoint and distance. So just the midpoint and distance. waiting for it to come up. Okay, midpoints, distance. Go through, read them. Look at the videos if you need to. Go through the formula. Do the practice questions. Some of you might have enough knowledge already to do the practice questions. That's where you've got to go through. Do the practice questions. Do the same for the midpoint. Do the practice questions for the midpoint. Review the distance in the midpoint formula. Okay, and then we'll go on to the next lesson next time. Right, is that clear what you need to do, class? Oh, yes, and you can do the pages from the geometry workbook. Thank you, I forgot about that. In fact, that would be an excellent thing to do. Thank you, Mervyn. Those of you that have the geometry workbook, you don't need to do Khan Academy. You can do the midpoints from pages 9 and the distance 9 to 14. So pages 9 to 14 on the workbook. Okay, I'll put it down here. Pages 9 to 14. Workbook. Right, so I've sent you a message there. Pages 9 to 14 on the workbook, or if you haven't got the workbook, you can go through. So there's plenty of material. You've got your videos, you've got Khan Academy videos. You should be able to understand distance, midpoint. So the rest of this period, for the next 35 minutes, you can work by yourself. You can stay with me if you like. Otherwise, you can sign out, but I will be available for the next 35 minutes, but I won't be speaking to you necessarily, unless you have questions. Is that all good, class? Thank you. Yep. So stay on if you want, or go and work independently. Up to you. Oh, that was mass desertion.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
In my timetable, they write my class starts in the 1 o'clock. So I joined in the 1 o'clock, but I didn't see anyone, so I just leaving.
So you just what?
In my timetable, they write the mathematics class. It starts in the 1 o'clock p.m.
1 p.m. Oh.
Yeah.
Who's your teacher, Ting?
You are my teacher.
Are you sure? I'm going to have a look on. I'm going to have a look on Kmart, and I'll just double check that. Unless you have on your timetable, who has it got for the teacher initials?
Wait a second. I check who is my teacher.
Good. So I'm just going to look on Kmart now.
Mr. Hamilton.
Oh, it has got me there.
Yeah.
But maths today is at 2 o'clock, so something's fishy. Wait a minute, let's just wait here. Details.
Okay. Maybe timetable got something wrong.
Possibly. Let's check. So Ting, oh yeah, you're year 12. So let's have a look at your timetable. Oh, I know what's wrong. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to present you my screen and I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
Hold on. Just give us a few seconds. Yep. So present now. So did you understand the work today, Ting Ho?
What?
Did you understand the work today?
Not because I just joined.
Oh, you just joined at the end, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So see on your timetable, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
See here?
Yeah.
This here says
2. Okay.
Because Wednesday period 4, the lunchtime is at 12:10.
Okay.
These two are long periods, so we don't have a period 5.
Oh, I see something wrong. Okay, it's my wrong.
Yep, that's okay. That's why I wanted to show you, just to make
Mhm.
sure that you understand. Okay, if you didn't understand or didn't follow the lesson, I'll put this recording up so that you can check the recording
Mhm.
and you can stop and say no, no. Why will you stop here? Okay.